In this video, we're going to look at how we can transition from ordered into synchronous technology and what that actually gives us in the process. So to start off with, we have an assembly with a few inserts and a sheet metal component. So what I want to do is just double click on here and we can go into the sheet metal component, and as you can see, it's sitting with all its features in the ordered mode. So what we need to do is we need to go down to the bottom feature and transition that through to synchronous. Alternatively, you could just take part of the design and you right mouse click and go move to synchronous. If you do that, any dependent features will get copied across, so most likely it will take this flange and all the ones above it. In this instance, we want to go with the final feature, and we go move to synchronous. This just warns us that in flange 1 there is some interference, and it's saying that if it's going to move it, it's going to add some corner relief so that we can still work with it. So what we'll do is we'll say OK to that, and then that transitions all of these features that are in this tree into a synchronous workflow. So that's all we need to do. If we wanted to, we could still switch back to ordered and have some features there as well, but in this case we're just going to look at the synchronous side of things. So if we zoom in on an area, we can see that we can actually pick up on this slot. Notice that it's transition the dimensions through as well, but in this case we just want to look at what we can do. So as you can see, just by picking on the end of the slot, we can actually change the size of it as we go. Escape will drop you out. Other things we can do, now you'll notice that we've got a tab here, and we've got a side flange which are not connected. So if we want to extend this out, what we can do is we can just zoom in on a certain area, do a fence selection, and that gives us the ends of the flanges as well. And as we click on that, you can see that we're actually moving the whole flange, as well as the hole that was in here and the side flange as well. If we escape out of that, if we wanted to rotate this around, we could look at maybe just this face here, and we can adjust the depth of that. Notice, because we've got a continuous face here, it's pulling in that side area as well. So it still has some options in there. And then what we could do is, if we wanted to maintain that depth, we could just do a fence selection around all of these items and drag them all together, so we can maintain this cutout on the side along with the holes. What you also need to remember is that what we have in here is under the PMI, you can see all these dimensions that have come through. These are all driven dimensions. If you want to lock the geometry down so that it's a critical dimension, you can just click on the lock symbol, and that will lock it. And then when you're making your modifications, that will be controlled through there, and will stop any edits involving those options, depending on whether you have your live rules turned on or off. So if we close out of there, we'll just have another look that while we're back in the assembly, we can still make those edits. So for example, if we've got our options under select, we've got face priority and part priority. If we go with face priority, we can actually do the same sort of thing. So if we do a fence selection over here, we can actually still work with those faces within the assembly. as you can see. And that works with multiple parts as well. So if we had more parts in here, we could actually adjust that, and both would update. So it's then like the old way. If you've got part priority, when you pick up, it's now selecting parts, so you can do a edit definition or a edit in place. So that's just a quick example of how we can transition a part from ordered to synchronous, and then work within the assembly on multiple bodies.